Hi, beautiful family in the light. So much love to all of you. I'm just about to go live with Todd Medina, and I wanted to record it here. It's much better to be on the Zoom with him. You don't get a chance to see him on here, but you get to just see me. So I'm going to allow this to move on and take place, but I've put the link for Zoom, and looking forward to a wonderful collaboration, conversation, and expansion. Much love. See. Hi, Todd. Let's see if this works now. Oops, where did Todd go? There. Hi, Todd, darling. I see you perfectly. Let me see. Todd, can you see me? Huh. Hmm. Hi, dear Todd. I just want to be sure you can hear me. Can you hear me, darling?
Todd Medina, Soldier One Studios. What's going on here? Democracies, aristocracies, oligarchies, monarchies, hierarchies, presidents, and popes. What's the real dope? What's this all about? Faith, hope, doubt? That's all that earth stuff, man. I am a multi-dimensional, high-vibrational, evolutionary being, and I'm tired of hiding it. I am soul. I don't care who or what tried or is trying to deceive us. Call it the devil or another's Messiah, prophet, or God. It's all the same to me. Whoever they are, they can never take our souls, and that's when we came here to learn. From the burn of being wrong, denying who we are, taking orders, lawless laws, a branded existence, but not anymore. I am divinity. Yeah. All right. The power we hold to mold the future, heavenly nirvana. From the inside, present, eternal. It's time to be a bolder flame. The game isn't the same. We are the spirit, science, synthesis, the action of conscious thought, alignment, transmuting to a living wisdom. Yeah. No longer dreaming the life, I am living the dream.
Hi, Todd. Yeah.
What's going on, HoniB?
Hello, dearest. Hi, Todd. Much love, my darling brother. How are you?
Just hanging out by the pool drinking margaritas.
Of course you would. Michael?
There's Michael.
I just want to say a quick hi to you, brother. Says I saw you and I heard margaritas, so I had to run out and just say, "Wait a minute, who's having a margarita? We in Mexico?" Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Good to see you. You look great today in that color.
Thank you.
What's going on?
What's
happening?
Going on? That song is a good one, Todd. What's going on?
Yeah.
You know, everything and nothing and all is happening, I feel.
Yeah.
It's amazing, though. All just amazing. I feel it's like the most delicious time ever right now. That's what I feel.
No doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah. Tan is looking really good, Todd. I like this tan color on you.
The tan?
Yeah, you look like from this and it looks like a tan. It's this glowing, that glowing sun ray light is beautiful.
I think that happened in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because I was very white before I went.
Okay. You get
when I went to Hawaii, the last thing I did before I went to Hawaii was go to the Thousand Goddess Gathering. That's where I met you and Michael in person.
That's right. And that's almost this month. No, next month, October, would be a year anniversary of that. And still they're having a global gathering that Michael and I are both actually taking part, but we won't be obviously here. We'll be in Greece, holding that fort with the Sacred Divine Feminine and the Magdalena codes at a specific place for that day. So.
Yeah, I know you're about to take off. We should start with talking about what's just happened. But when you get to Greece, we did a show earlier today with Renata Ideni.
Okay.
And we've had her on a few times. You guys should connect.
Absolutely.
You guys really should
what
connect.
Island is she at? Do you know? Is she in Athens or?
I believe she's in Athens. But if you watch that show today, particularly from like the 30-minute mark, you'll see.
Okay, I definitely will. Absolutely.
You're cut from the same cloth.
Sure.
You're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, and this one in Athens, we will be because Michael and I would get a chance to have both of our frequency at the Acropolis this time together, which I feel is very, very important. There's a part that we have to, part of our ancient soul past that has to come together there, anchoring this sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine, particularly the work we'll be doing this weekend for the ceremony of the equinox. This autumn equinox is so special. Like, I really love to start with that and going into our journey where we'll be going these next 4 weeks.
Good. Go ahead. So that's in what? That's going to be in what, 3 days?
So it is the early morning hours of Monday. So on Sunday, the 22nd, we're having the ceremonial gathering in person with individuals that will be coming. And with any of these equinoxes, the window really starts 72 hours before and 72 hours after. So it is between this 144 hour, which is part of the 144,000. And this one, Todd, I have been waiting for this fall equinox for a very long time because it is the last autumn equinox of this entire decade. My goodness. And we're in this month of 9. So that's why when Morgan reached out, which day to be on your show, I knew it had to be this day, 9/19/19. We had to be on this 999 gateway, cycles and cycles that are closing, and the work that Michael and I will be doing on Sunday to assist individuals to be in the center of these opposing energies of their sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine, right in the center. So it is that center of alignment so we can see the new seeds for 2020. That's really the focus for us, and the ceremonial cleansing that will take him through. There, we live in a crystal field and there's a creek of fresh water that runs behind us. So we'll be taking the individuals there to do a purification ceremony and creating a crystal grid to anchor these 2020 frequencies early on within us. So we enter 2020 with that correct alignment, which has to do with the crystalline diamond light body, and of course, Magdalene Yeshua codes of light. So that's a big part of this work, because where we're positioned, we're directly at the grid line that runs underneath the Washington Monument. So, we've been working very exclusively with the Arcadia grid line and dismantling a lot of the frequencies that are, that opposing forces have been using, and we're bringing these frequencies here. And then off we go. So it's very, very exciting, very, very exciting.
It is exciting. The equinox is coming up, and it feels like October, November, and December are going to be about hibernation.
Yeah. Well, it's like 6 months. It really is from this one till spring equinox. It is really that deep inward journey. And you can't go inward this way. You can't go this way. It is coming in here, that inner doorway where that vision of the heart wants to see, the vision of the soul wants to see, the vision of everything through this door wants to see. And is that central alignment, which is so amazing. Especially this one. It's the last one of 2000, this whole decade. And we've gone through so much together, all of us, as
exactly. And today is also the last day of that palindrome period, where the dates the dates are the same forward and backward.
That's right.
Which is, from what I haven't researched it, I guess I probably should have, but from what I read on 2 different memes or posts, was that it's the last palindrome period of the entire century.
Exactly. And I really look at it also, when I look at 9 on this side, 9 in this side, it's like, wow, the sacred divine feminine of my energy is finally completion. There's a completion energy. The sacred divine masculine, the completion is finally here. And it's this entire month. So here's this one, here's this year, here's this unison energy. Like, I just look at it as the true essence of ascension being a real celebration, because all that suffering is just behind us. Like, we moved out of that timeline. Now is the joy and the celebration, because we've completed the cycles within cycles, and we've come into this, finally, the divine original blueprint timeline within ourselves. And it's very exciting. So you're catching me in such an exciting frequency, particularly because we're organizing the final details and the art we'll be doing on Sunday, and all the craziness of packing everything for 4 weeks, 5 countries, leaving just dedicated for planetary work, planetary grid work. And this time there's no events, anything, anywhere. We're not doing. It's just completely dedicated to Gaia's crystalline diamond heart, literally, and the places that we need to be to anchor these codes of light.
The lady I told you about, Renata Adini,
she
just put a comment. She said the 666 turned to 999 now. Mm-hmm. We did it.
That's right. It is a completion. It is. And all the numbers are sacred anyway. And it's just when we align to that. I'm a life path number 9. And this is very important for me, Todd, because this is that last human incarnation. So I can see everything is finishing. It's like, wow, this is so beautiful. Like, starting to really feel the true beauty, a divine beauty in all the expressions.
Yeah.
And
so how was the last few weeks for you and for y'all? It's been building up quite a bit, and seems like people are going into themselves more. The universe is speaking to us, very clearly. How's it been for y'all the last few weeks?
Well, it's been very interesting because we have been jam-packed. As you know, we're full-time healers, we're facilitators, we do ceremonies, and we do, grid work, and then we do groups. So it's very busy, and both with our families too. So it's just a very packed schedule. And for us, really getting everything prepared for the Mary Magdalene ceremony was the big one here. And before that, we went to Canada, where we were facilitating to work with that generating energy of Toronto with that specific grid line, and doing the just what we needed to do, and then coming back. That 8-8 was so pivotal for us, and there was this place with Michael and I, because it was very much important for Michael to experience that roaring voice of him. And so I had been waiting for that roaring voice of him come out, which I feel last week was it that he was on with you. You got a chance to experience that presence of him. Yeah. And it's been so beautiful because we knew the 8-8 frequency, that stargate, we needed to be a part to work with that individually. And I knew, like, I cannot go against myself in any possible way. So it's this incredible space of, if we have to be totally 100% aligned. We're not aligned, we go apart. We're aligned, we move forward, because everything that the team above have been showing up, it requires, I said, Michael, we get hurt. If I can't, like, I'm 100% in, and I see this 100% is not you. I need your roar. We need this to deliver this together, because Team Above has given us a name for our service, and there are all these things that have to be shifted around. So, but I need his part. So it's amazing, thanks to live stream, all of that, for Michael to find that place in him and come forward. And he did after 8-8, he did this magical ceremonial asking blessing for my hand for our sacred union. That was an amazing surprise. And for him, for me to witness what it's like when a sacred divine masculine completely roars and allows, there's that golden lion in him just comes, and there's nothing he holds back. That's all I ever wished for, just to be in that present. And it knocked me in from the beauty of it. It bedazzled me, Todd, I have to say. And to see Michael feel his own liberation has been amazing. So that's exactly what was needed when we go to Europe and we go to Africa, we be in Egypt. We needed that frequency to be 100% aligned. And so it is. And
so it is. So have you picked up any collective intel as to where we're all at together? I mean, for the most part, what energy is available? I mean,
well, here's the thing, Todd. I do have to say something about this. So I am one of those that has dropped a little bit of my attention, if you want to call it, into the daily energetic forecast, because for years I was dedicated to that. And then I was guided to really, really, really become so present. And doesn't matter where the alignments of the stars are. In my living human deliciousness, okay, how am I delivering this golden ray of light through me? Regardless of what the planetary, how much gamma rays is coming, how much plasma rays is being blasted to me. I have literally withdrawn my energy field from all of that. And I do receive what's happening within the octaves. And I'm like, okay, that's beautiful. But I'm being asked to really, really experience all of my bodies and into my physical body completely. And to regardless of what's happening in the alignments, regardless how many gateways, like today is an amazing gateway. Am I willing to experience the true joy of it without my energy being affected by, there's another cosmic ray coming, there's another photolight, there's another glamour. I've withdrawn completely from the full moon for 6 months now, and I feel so free. I feel so free on so many things. So it's beautiful, but part of it for years I was, sharing what's the latest frequency coming, and it was like, okay, we are in the human experience. Isn't the human experience very, very vital? I want to be very present, and
that's right. The human is the hero. Well,
it
it sounds like what's happening to you, and this is what I'm looking for, like common denominators, that regardless of where we are on the spectrum, it looks like we're all taking the final embodiment. No matter what our journey's been, we're actually looking at the deepest parts of us that we haven't looked at. I love that show with Renata this morning, the woman I was talking about,
Yes.
lives in Athens. And she said something that was really profound to me. She said that we, all this time, the way showers, the star seeds, whatever you want to call it, the healers, whatever you want to call it, have been doing the work on themselves, but also been assisting externally other people. And that something has changed. And that now everybody's in a position with the universe where the universe is speaking to them in their own way, very clearly, and we're all having to deal with our stuff, right? Mm. And that there's a little bit more work for the starseed, for the way shower, because we were helping other people with part of our energy, kind of like what you're talking about with the forecasting and that type of thing. There was still a part of us that we were not directing inward, because we were serving, but now things have shifted. And
well,
so I think
you're still serving. There's no shortage of serving. I feel it's just expanded more in harmonious way. So I feel the way I look at it is I'm a sacred song. I'm a sound. And is my sound vibrating in all areas of my life in beautiful harmony? So I find whatever area is in disharmony, that's where this crystalline diamond embodiment has to come in to bring it into that presence. So there's a lot of, from a place of grace, from a place of gratitude, from a place of honor, this sacred flame has been ignited inside that sees so clearly. So before there was this disconnection from my physical body for years, just like many other star seeds, like just not wanting to be my body. And I mean, for years and years and years, because of so much pain in this incarnation and so many other incarnations, just wanting to escape this body as much as possible. However, how many times that death experience, I was sent back here again. So, and there's been that shift that I'm really enjoying. No, I want to be in my body. No, I don't want to just check out. Like before, when Michael would work on me, I'd be like out, I'd be in full blossom channel, other ones all coming in. And now everything has been shifting. I'm just enjoying, rejoicing, really, that divinity in my physical presence, because it's been in my spiritual body, it's been in my etheric body, it's been in my mental body, cleaned up in that emotional body. Now I know, it's coming home, like this is at home. I can feel it, Todd. So I don't want to deny any part of it, and especially any area that's slightly, I catch it uncomfortable, I'm diving in deliciousifying it. Like I really feel
deliciousifying. Deliciousifying. How do you say that?
Deliciousifying it. So not from a place of worry, not from a place of I can't handle, from a place of my God, the grace of divine, that I am presence. I have touched that I am presence, and I'm ready. I have been ready. I fully own it. And I feel that's the part with a lot of light workers, starseeds. I do want to share this, because many of them don't own it. And we can't anchor it if you don't own it. It's coming in. You got to own it to anchor it, because then it's the presence that is vibrating through you. There's nothing we talk about. There's nothing in doing. It is in the beingness, but you can't be it if you're denying it and you don't own it and you're not surrendered into it. And and to honor and respect, when you really honor respect, like for example, I fully recognize so many different incarnations, so much training in so many different star systems, and the team that I work with, and the way they're bringing the training that has been gone under, so I can bring the goods for higher service onto the planet, for the planetary ascension, for the humanity's ascension. So what good does it do when I want to play this role that I don't know what I'm talking about? There are things I don't know, but there are things through experience I definitely know, and I'm going to own it.
Yeah.
Out of honor and respect, stand behind it, that I've been touched by that wisdom that was already there and now is being brought into the surface. You see? So I feel it is so important when you own it, you're taking the embodiment, and we are ascending into our higher essence. The higher essence has to be embodied, and it's embodied in the truth, not in this flakiness. It's anchored, and it's in deep wisdom, in this deep integrity, deep honor. So that's how I see it. And we honor wherever the rest of our life, brothers and sisters, stars, wherever they are, because each is part of divine plan. So when I honor my part as the divine plan, I honor you. And I don't, in whatever your calling is, beautiful, more bow. And that's what's happened. So many of us in that pure state are aligning, collaborating, sharing, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. I just feel the incredibleness of it. And those who don't really own it, they still have their things to work out. They'll work it around. You know, they will eventually, but they may have a lot more of their triggers that they have to purify till they too can own the presence.
Yeah, I agree. I think the universe is forcing us, for lack of a better word, to embody the energies that are available to us. So, you know, we don't really have a choice. We're all going to be triggered.
Yeah.
You know, we're all going to be triggered every day, all day long, you know. So it's, I think there's a new kind of atmosphere, and that atmosphere is that, really, there's nothing to do but to focus on yourself.
Yeah, and that I feel what happens is that these frequencies are here to help us remember through the beautiful encounters, to assist in that beautiful remembering of the true divine essence that we are. And that this divine essence, every single moment, every second, is awaiting for us to be aligned with it. So within this alignment, we're able to then connect with each other in that oneness alignment. So that's how we see. The more I accept me as a sovereign, true divine being of grace, the more I'm able to accept you, accept Morgan, accept Michael, accept Heather, you know, when I'm denying myself, you know, and still like bashing it, I'm not able to be touched by that grace that we're going to be moving out of this physical garment into the gracious frequency of light, living and assisting from there. So this living in grace is right now, but it's not a word. It is truly that frequency that's not out here, that is in here, that wants to be expanded to all parts of our lives. That includes our neighbor, that includes the car we're driving, that includes the highway, that includes the cashier. Really, right here. That's how I really feel, and that's how I'm taking it every day.
I love what you said at the top of the show. It's just about being, and it seems like, you know, that taking in that information, we're taking this information and we express it, but that the, you know, I don't know, the purest, the clearest connection between what we get and what we put out is us being ourselves. And you guys are, you know, great examples of that. A lot of people out there following their own guidance and being true to that guidance no matter what, which seems to, beyond words, really present the same frequency and the same message and the same wisdom that you're talking about. It's through our efforts, through the ability in ourselves where we can say, you know what, I'm going to be me. Yeah. I'm going to follow this guidance. I'm going to be a full-time healer with my divine partner. And I'm going to go out to 4 countries in 5 weeks, and I'm going to do this. That's powerful.
Well, what it is, I feel like, is when we open, again, there's been so much respect for this holy temple. I have fallen into the presence of love for this holy, sacred garment that I never valued and appreciated in my earlier years, even my later years, because it was a burden more than anything else. And I've come to really realize, there's been that realization state in the awareness that this holy temple is in which the divine that I am is doing its sacred work through. So how can I deny? So that's why I take care of it. I'm good to it. I've learned how to love it, like really just and much more gentle, and be able to have a voice around, like, if no, this doesn't feel like, that doesn't feel like, but from a very different place that I was before. I was like, for example, I was a hardcore yogi for years. I have dumped that shit. I was I'm a hardcore, from the workout, everything, very athletic. Todd, all of that has gone, because yes, there was the body of taking care of the body, but it didn't come from the place of grace. It came from accomplishing a goal. And there's no goal for me. I have let go of every goal for years. I am of service, and I'm of service to divine. And as I'm service to divine, I am service to this divine vessel first, so that divine can do its work through in our ways of expression. When I'm creating art, when I'm creating light language, like activation, when I'm creating, jewelry, whether I'm speaking and all that, it's an expression in which divine in multiple ways, or even food is coming through, So that's the way that I have learned that this love is not what it was before, because I had love before, but I did not have this before, you see? Because it's the wisdom and this being important.
Somebody asked a question, and I'll just put it to you in a different question that contains their question. Mm-hmm. Is it easier to align with the energies coming in and the codes that are available collectively? Or is it easier just to try to align with our bodies?
Okay, so I like that question, but let me share this from my perspective. Mm-hmm. I would say none of those, because I feel the true alignment is the alignment with that sacred flame inside. Come to that sacred flame. Just breathe in that place. Most people don't know you can shift all the timelines like this. When you come to that breath, you come in that place. It is this fast, because timelines, like for example, Todd is spread out all through the universe in his consciousness, multiverse, universes, different timelines, different planes, what have you. And because the energies or emotions are spread out that way as that part of the fragmented soul, the second you tune into that breath, you breathe it in right into the center of that crystalline, that sacred flame, and you breathe it even for 3 to 4 to 5 minutes. Just you breathe it, nothing else, for no other purpose than that breathing it. In its presence, you become totally aligned with the golden divine presence, to the I am presence, and that changes all the timelines to the origin of the divine timeline. What more is important to be in divine timeline? So then within that naturally the body's aligned to that frequency, because it is this magnetic frequency and electro frequency that is connected to Gaia, that is connected to every single star system, that is connected to all galaxies. Like, and all it takes is to just come right there. So frequencies, again, if you're focused out here, you're missing it. And I feel that's what a lot of light workers sees. There's energy scattered so all over the place here. And that's another thing with light language that I like to get into. It's like all over the place. You gotta have to come here. And I say this because I too was there, and then it needed to come in the frequencies through the octaves needed to come in. So I am truly home in my origin sound, in that origin of that spark of divine that I was first created from. That's what I do in the activations, taking people right in that space. So I hope that answers.
Yes, it does. It sounds like it would. Well, I mean, I think ultimately we're all going to be forced to the same place. Not forced, but we're all going to the same place.
We're being invited. We're being invited by the greater presence of ourselves to come to our own true essence that is divine. That's all. Yeah. And that's why ascension, it had kicked our butt to help us. Hey, out of love, you've forgotten. Remember your love. Here's another situation. Remember your love. Remember you have so much in you. You have every treasure in you. Come on, come home. Yeah. And that's where I'm at now. It's like, wow, it's no more suffering. This is freaking amazing. It's not celebration.
Yes. And if that energy is available to one person, it's available to everybody. And that's what I'm getting at.
Because it's open within the fields. It's open in everyone. Every single day when Michael and I sit, we have our meal together. And I just enjoy, we both say it in our blessings and our play. We know these blessings are available to everyone. Please help the hearts open up so they too can receive these blessings. Because we are truly abundant beings. We already are. We don't have to create it. There's nothing we have to create. We already are. The sooner we accept we are, the sooner we can begin to really rejoice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. It looks like we're shedding the final layers. I mean, a lot of people have been writing about self-judgment.
Yeah.
And self-judgment in the deepest ways, like way beyond what we've seen before in the ascension. Self-judgment about being the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
Self-judgment about money. Self-judgment about being different.
Yeah.
And then turning that around and seeing the other side of it, the polarity of what we thought we were, the polarity being what we actually are, which is what you're talking about.
So I want to share something on that, Todd Medina, because it's so important. There is nobody that is truly judging us. The biggest judgment has always been us, and it's been the reflection that has been showing.
Yeah.
We have chosen these incarnations to come into, though we've forgotten why, but it is part of our own transformation so that we can resurrect in our own light and have our own material to just simply share from, to draw from. And so we can meet each other. Why you and I connect with my core? Like, what? Why? Because there's this pain has blessed us, touched us to the fucking core. And that has expanded, blasted our heart. We know that place. But what do we also know? We also know the power of its love. That's why we feel love so deep. That's the beauty of it, right? That's where we can relate. So we've forgotten, because we've gotten consumed in that suffering. And of course, there's been so much of it. And there is a window that this heart, once we want to come into this heart, there's so much hurt that we're first facing. And we don't want to, frankly, face it. But once we go to the layers, then we become we come home, it's like, wow, everything was always here. So there was this, journey we had to take. And what is so incredible about this is that we unite at a place where we have forgotten again the grace that was always there to behold us. We come to be held again and rejoice. And not from a religious perspective at all, but in the true illumination with that anointing oil that has blessed us, has touched us, which is already us. It's like, hey, you got this. You always had. And it's not esoteric either. It's very real. So, for example, I want to share this for the audience because for years, being someone who's super galactic and, been so heavily judged, been so heavily harshly, also, if you want to call, not necessarily abandoned, but outcast completely, family, friends, all of this stuff, especially I started, answering the call after my death experience in January 8, 2012. So there was no one more harsher than me that judged me at that time and threw out a little bit to Todd. And as I took on completely honoring, being a full-time healer, facilitating, honoring, listening, working with them, I had to sit in the presence of shame so much in the presence of the higher team with the masters and they had to help me go through all of that to see, wow, they were never judging me, how much I was judging me. So fast forward, I have never thrived more being exactly me, being super galactic. For example, speaking in like 36 plus languages of light, like so freaking crazy this as a group and like everything, but as a transmitter, as an activator, bring it all in and speak of the mechanics of it and pass on literally everything that's been shared to me and thriving because I no longer stop judging me. Because the more I owned it, then that presence came through and that presence carried the others to help them remember their truth. And that's very important. So, it's just time. And this is this month of completion before we go to 2020. 2020 is the pillars anchored deep. There's no more of this nonsense. Truly, it's nonsense. We are not mistakes.
No more distortion, no more distraction.
Exactly.
What I love too, this whole embodying thing. So we've had to embody.
Yes.
And that's a big statement because it's so much more than human. We've had to embody the self-judgment and the fact that we were the only ones judging ourselves. But at the same time, we're being led and being asked and doing, embodying grace and love and truth. Not something outside giving it to us, not a team giving it to us. We are seeing that in ourselves, just like we had to own the other side of the polarity in ourselves.
Yeah, and that's what that is. That polarity. We are part of polarity only in the human experience because in our higher dimensional existence we are not polarized. We are centralized. So we've had to experience this to also that vibration of the love of the I am into it, so that it in this plane recognize truly the heavenly realm. I mean, it's so like wow, really seriously, like in this consciousness, in this the way it's been trickled down in this plane, now we get to have our divine essence to walk amongst each other. Holy freaking wow, this is amazing. We are really ascending in an incredible way. What blessing this is. Wow. Really, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this comment from your sister. You're going to meet her in Greece.
Yeah. They have
she says, yes, honey, this was the shame and judgment of our falling. It was devastating for all of us. Now we are free from the self-rejection. And by helping the ascension process, we heal to correct what happened. Yeah, it's all linked together, which is
and
which is fat.
The Magdalene feast on July 22nd, the ceremony we had. So I had Mary Magdalene ask me 3 days to do this specific purification, washing of the shames from lifetimes, and it was very, very sacred. And of course, men cannot come in that circle, but Mary Magdalene had asked Michael to be there. So Michael to be there to witness, and I was asked to wash each person's hand and feet, to wash the shame. But I had to speak of the shame, and I had to speak so much, particularly of the sexual shame. That was a huge one that ties into the abundant shame, that ties into owning of our divinity. So all of these things, and it was that voice of the Magdalene that, because it's been so suppressed, because it's been so shamed, that shame together with all of us had to be washed before I could do the anointing, so that we are this crystalline diamond rose. We are radiating this glorious essence. The scent of the heaven is through our golden rose, but the shame has to be washed, because the shame was faulty programming and conditioning. It was never true. It was never, ever true. But we all took part to allow the universe expand. So if we took part, the only way we can expand it, not to get stuck in the cycle of shame. It has to be washed in being able to communicate it. So I had to, for example, really open up, talk about the sexual abuse. And I'm on this side. There's nothing that affects me anymore, because I resurrected, and each of us have taken part in that. So we resurrect, we bring the voice of that Magdalene, the crystalline rose through. There has never been anything to shame us. We just took part in the shaming programming, and it can no longer impact us when we no longer have the vibration within our field.
True. Yeah. And I think that's happening. It's happening collectively. Everybody's at a different place on the spectrum.
Yes.
It's definitely, something's changed. We're able and pushed to and led to and directed and guided to focus strictly on ourselves. And I don't mean that's the only thing we do, but everything that's coming before us is really a message for us to go deeper into us, no matter who we are or where we think we might or might not be. It's all showing us in our face what it is we need to remove that isn't real, what you're talking about, that was never real, never true.
Yeah, because when we recognize, so with power comes that greater responsibility. The more you become awe of this wonder, the more you take on the greater responsibility. So when you realize, oh wow, I'm going to go in and I'm going to take on that personal responsibility even deeper, you recognize you're also doing this on behalf of your other teammates, your other earth crew, your other star brothers and sisters. And it's not just exclusive to Earth. It's in the other star systems, other planets as well, because we're really tapping into that oneness energy. So when we recognize this, like, okay, I will face this with honor, because when I face this with honor, as I purify this and remove the veils that have cluttered the cluttered me from seeing truth from the lens of my divine's eye.
Okay.
I can then, share a very sacred space with everybody else and open the field for everybody. So it's really not this place where I'm just going to do my inner work. No, I go in because I'm one with everyone. That's that consciousness that we're coming into, because it moves us to 2020 and beyond.
Yeah. Speaking of divine connection,
Yes.
and 36 languages.
Plus.
We got plus. We got 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And
So
if you'd like to do something, you don't have to do light language.
No. I will bring a tune transmission, but let me share this with you, because I'll be starting it due to so much demand. I'll be starting a light language Zoom class. We're just trying to figure out the final date, either in December or January. It will consist of just 3 classes, 2 hours each, and this is really coming from these 5 years, from this 5 years that really began 5 years ago, December. Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, and Mother Mary had asked me to go be in stillness for 21 days, to sleep 13 to 15 hours, so this crystalline diamond light body of mine can become activated. They said, we need you to become the diamond body to hold the frequency with some of the other ones, so that it can hold the frequency on the planet. And I had to wait then 5 years until this past December 21st to be able to bring the transmissions. And the way the transmission for me wasn't just a light language, really blurting out. I was studying very carefully with the different crew in terms of how to hone it in, how to bring it in, how to use it properly, how to use discernment, what is pure, what is not pure, what are the purpose of it, what does it actually, not just for some show, but actual purpose of it and the power of it. And so it was really 5 years of the inner study before I could bring it. I was granted permission to come out. And that's why when we were together in March, when I did the brief one, it had that power, because that's how quickly it clears. But it needs to be so grounded in order to do absolute no harm to no one, including myself. So there's so much that I have, and in the group class, I share a lot when I do the group light transmission activation. It's like 3.5, 4 hours. Everything is first education before. Now I've been asked to, all these ones that have opened up, they're speaking, but they don't know what to do. And a lot of them, it's just administering, but it's not grounded, and they don't know how to use it properly for healing. And I'm guided to help them to use it and to know who is talking, who you are communicating that is within you. You need to freaking know, and that's the part of your multidimensional self. Ownership again. Ownership. I've met so many other ones as well. So having said that, the transmission has been stronger and stronger and stronger. That's why I still have a waiting list till December. I can't even get to anybody else for private sessions, and they reach out and I schedule them. And so that will be starting out to really help out. And to use we're all going towards, as our vibration is raising even greater, we're coming this divine alignment. Everything is sound. So for several years, I used, of course, my drum, my crystal bowls, all the different sound instruments when I did the galactic shamanic sound medicine. All of that was aside. Now my crystalline diamond body, Todd, and this sound transmission is the range of the tones and the sounds in the languages and the codes. The codes are different. That comes in to clear, to raise, to transmute, to transfer, to so much. It's of complete divine purpose. And it's that toning. That toning is, all of us are coming slowly to that importance of toning. Like when there is a sound coming. Let me bring you something for 1 second because I want to show you because this will help. Just 1 second, my dear. Is there one right here? 1 second. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah, no problem.
So, for example, this is a different example. So, I am somebody who's not a trained musician. I'm not a musician. I am not a voice person at all, or if anything, that was the area that was so shut in me and that had to open up. So when I take a person into the private session with the light language, light code transmission, activation, alignment, in this one-time experience, I'm able to take them to a place where I can access their original, the origin of when they were first created in sound as a spark of light. I can temporarily access it and sound their sound into their field and teach them how to use it. So that becomes part of their experience because that sound in the golden frequency gives them the access to access everything else is in them. So for example, let's say this is one of the sounds, or let's say this is one of the sounds. Let's say one of the sounds, there are hundreds. So I'm going to make one sound just so you can hear it, but this would be for the person. And so I'll do this one. So for example, I first see it coming from source, and it's vibrating and moving, and it's like a dance, and I sound it out. And then that's the sound that it's like golden liquid frequency that comes in and expands and becomes body of knowledge. Now, this will have a power, but it will have a specific power on the individual that this belongs to. So just one moment, because there's a purpose that I'm sharing this with you. Like, for example, this one time, when I sound it out, it will be like the sound is ra, la, right? Okay. So it would be like this. It goes ra, la. So for example, my own voice had to open up, but it's not a singing tone. It's just a tone. Because when we tune into this tone, it's a frequency field that brings everything else within all the bodies into the proper alignment. You see?
Yeah. Very cool. Thank you for showing us that.
Yeah, it's very, very fascinating. I'll do one more. So it's like some of the complicated one, like that one.
Turaka.
Okay, so this is like the person's sound that I get to hear. It sounds like this when I'm hearing it from the cosmos. So it goes Turaka. So but this is just the tone of the frequency field, and these are in light spoken. This is a light spoken vibration that moves around. But when I speak in the languages, the language come to clear, whether it's in Avalian or Andromedan or Antarian or vegan, you know, and the Polarians or Blue Avians and what have you. And these are all part of the individual's own multi-dimensional aspect. But the codes, when the codes come in, the codes are super fast and they're being placed and rewired. That's quite differently. So it's multiple and it keeps expanding the more I have accepted my essence, the more I'm discovering what's available in me that has been amazing. So, and I feel that's really the message of it's just time to really accept ourselves so we can truly accept each other, and none of these judgments, whoever they do,
Yes.
whatever, and then know thyself, and you'll know if that is for you, that is not. You know where you are on your journey, and it's okay. And the more you expand, the more you know you're here as a space holder for others to come to their own. You
Right.
can't teach them. You're here to share so they can be reminded of the same that is with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to do a little
Sure.
activation or blessing before we head out? We got about 2-3 minutes.
Sure.
Oh,
So let us ask everyone. Todd, I just asked everyone to place your hands on your hearts, please. And just close this beautiful sacred eyes. And just breathe in, coming to the center of the heart. Breathe in that beautiful sacred heart, and just start to relax. And then relax in that sacred inner drum beat, tuning into that sacred flame inside, embracing the 4 directions, embracing Gaia's sacred golden heartbeat underneath that beholds us, embracing divine source light of all illumination, all essence that is above us, that we are part of, all cosmos, all universes that we are part of, all consciousness, embracing all of our 7 bodies, all of our past, future, and just this moment, this now, and this beautiful moment of this inner sound where we can just breathe within this expansion and contraction. So I ask us all to please breathe in as we ask to fully be inside this golden illumination of light from source light of all essence, this Christus frequency of light, its golden light of illumination. Let us fully be rejoicing here as I bring some of the tones to help support us in this 9-19-19 triple gateway. And these tones will help support us with the movement of the timelines that have created suffering into the divine timeline, in the origin of our creation. I just ask you to breathe in, and may this be fully blessed by the highest source of all illumination, and be done according to divine's holy name, grounded deep into our cellular body in its deep truth, wisdom that knows. I ask you to drop into your heart and listen as I allow the sound transmission to be brought forth. God. Ooh, yeah, I can feel. Ooh, that needs to open up. One moment. My God. We are just with the Syrians now. Kila shi si sakari sikiri sikilak shulak sikanamara siri kili shimalai siri na sana na ye kura sira na ma ye usur makai ya si na si kadamichi ya yari. Just clearing that into the golden, sacred, Christed pyramid of light. And open up, breathe in this space one last time. Nurakiakumak, Nurakmiahatmak, Niratmiakunak, Naratmiakiak, Limiakurak, Mularakiak, Ilak Muatarak Miakinakiakiak. Take a deep breath in and release. Let it ground all the way to your feet. One more deep breath in. And breathe it all the way into your body, all the way down your feet. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. It's always
So just to share with you that toning, one of the part of it, there were a couple of different transitions. As soon as I began to started working first with the Pleiadians coming in, then it was right away the Syrians. Again, there's so much of this that needs to be open, because the expression of our divine truth needs to allow this etheric part of us, this voice of the truth, open up so we can really just speak from this gateway of the heart. So that's why they step forward and they're very fast in clearing. And then so we can move up to the divine mother creator, and that sound of that other sound that's usually really gold when it comes in, to just a couple of different ones working with in here.
wow.
How do you feel? How was that for you?
Very good. It was very good.
Okay.
The whole thing, the whole hour was very good.
Oh, it's always such a joy, such a pleasure, just such an honor. Really, Todd, I want you to know how much we are grateful to you and Morgan for your courage, for seriously, your courage for just allowing this platform so that so many of us can find each other, come together and be together and expand this network of light. Forever grateful to you. And the possibility for those of us where we have a voice, where we don't have a voice in the matrix, because we're not supported. So we're creating our own, and that's exactly what we agreed to come to bring the new ways. So I just honor you both so much for being the way showers, as each of us do our part this beautiful golden age. So thank you, my golden sacred friends. There's so much love to you.
And thank you both, and thank everybody. And
yes,
you're very welcome.
Everybody
you're
in
very
the
welcome
group chat
from the
as
both
well.
of us. Very welcome. It's a service that we are very aligned with.
Yes.
So I'll see you when I see you. You guys have a good time on your trip. Give us updates, and maybe we can do something when you guys are over there, or whenever you get back.
Yes, so we leave here in Germany, then we're in Greece, then we're in North Africa, then we're back in Greece, and then we get back. So we're taking the last part of specifically the golden, crystalline, diamond codes of light that are with Yeshua, Mary Magdalene. These presences, the pillar, we're bringing in this alignment where it needs to be anchored by both of us, and then we bring it back. And this trip is exclusively dedicated to that. So we don't, no healing, no events, nothing. Just our hearts going and serving as we need to.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So thank you so much. Thank
you.
Thank everybody so much for love and support.
Peace out to everybody. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, HoniB.
So thank you everyone for joining. So much love. Thank you. Thank you, Demetrius. You were here. Angela, you were here. Oh, so much love. I can't wait till I read the comments later. If you have any questions, please let me know. And it was always such a joy being on Todd. So thank you so much. I love you all very, very much. Thank you, Maria.